Last Leaf by O. Henry. It is autumn season, it's raining heavily, and wind is strong. Almost all the leaves from the ivy plant have fallen down. Only one leaf remains. The story asks a question: why is this one, the last leaf, still there? Two young women, Sue and Johnsy, both artists, lived together in a small rented apartment on the third floor of an old building. In November, Johnsy became very sick with pneumonia. She lay in bed weak and hardly moved, only staring out of the window. Sue cared for her and was very worried. She called the doctor daily, but Johnsy's health didn't improve. The doctor asked Sue if Johnsy was upset about something, as it looked like she had given up hope. Sue said no. The doctor explained that Johnsy didn't want to live anymore, and when patients lose the will to live, medicines alone can't cure them. Sue tried to cheer Johnsy by talking about fun things like clothes and fashion, but Johnsy stayed silent and weak. Then Sue began painting in the same room and even whistled while walking, hoping to distract her sick friend. Suddenly, Johnsy began whispering numbers backward. Sue went to her and saw she was counting the ivy leaves falling outside. 12, 11, 10. Leaves kept falling because of strong wind and rain. The old creeper's leaves were almost gone. Sue asked what Johnsy was counting. Johnsy said that only 6 leaves were left and they were falling quickly. A few days ago, there had been nearly 100. Johnsy firmly believed that the moment the last leaf fell, she would die. Sue told her that she was being silly because leaves had nothing to do with her health. The doctor believed Johnsy would recover, but Johnsy refused to eat soup and instead focused on the leaves. She said that when the last leaf fell, she would die forever. Sue kissed Johnsy and told her that she wasn't going to die. She explained she could not close the curtain because she needed the light to paint and earn money. She begged Johnsy not to keep looking at the window while she walked. Johnsy agreed, but she wanted Sue to finish spoon because she was waiting for the last leaf to fall. She had accepted death as peacefully as the leaves fall. Sue told Johnsy to sleep. She said she needed to paint the picture of an old miner and intended to ask Berman, their aged neighbor, to act as the model. Sue hurried downstairs to Behrman's room. Behrman was an old painter, about 60, who always dreamt of creating an art masterpiece but had never done so. Sue told him about Johnson's strange belief that she would die as soon as the last leaf fell. Behrman dismissed Johnson's belief as nonsense and said she was foolish. Sue explained that Johnsy also had a high fever and refused to eat or drink, which made her more worried. Behrman offered to come upstairs with her to see Johnsy. They entered quietly while Johnsy was asleep. Sue closed the curtains and both went into the room. When Sue looked outside, only one ivy leaf remained on the wall, shaking in the freezing storm and looking ready to fall. Behrman said nothing but silently left for his own room. The next morning, when Johnsy woke up, she weakly asked Sue to open the curtains. Nervously, Sue did so, and to her surprise, one leaf was still hanging there, strong and green, even though a wild storm had occurred during the night. Johnsy thought the leaf would definitely fall that day and she would die. But Sue firmly told her she would not die, she must live, especially for her friend Sue, who would be devastated without her. Johnsy managed a weak smile and shut her eyes. But every hour she opened them to check the leaf, and to her surprise, it kept hanging on strongly to the vine. That night another storm came, yet the leaf still didn't fall. Staring at the leaf, Johnsy called Sue and admitted she had behaved badly, refusing to cooperate, being gloomy and choosing despair. The leaf taught her that it was wrong, even sinful, to give up on life so easily. Sue lovingly hugged Johnsy gave her nourishing hot soup, and even bought her a mirror. Johnsy used it to comb her hair and smiled, showing she was feeling alive and hopeful again. Later, the doctor visited and, after checking Johnsy, declared happily that now she wanted to live, and so she would recover soon. But then he told Sue that Bearman too had pneumonia. But unlike Johnsy, his condition was very serious and hopeless. The next morning, Sue sadly told Johnsy that Bearman had died of pneumonia. He had been ill for just 2 days. The janitor had found him packing wet and freezing after being outside in the stormy night. Alongside Bearman, people found a ladder, a light, a lit lantern, brushes, and a green-yellow paints. Then the truth was revealed. Sue explained to Johnsy that the last leaf on the creeper was not real, but Bearman's painting. He had created it on that stormy night when the real last leaf had fallen. This was his greatest masterpiece, and he sacrificed his life for it.